Greetings, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Jakumar Mohanachandran, the Chief Research Officer at IMCAS. I've been in the industry for the last 25 plus years. I've been always passionate in driving technology that can propel businesses towards success. CI as a service, CAS is your ultimate destination for all things related to technology and information. If you are embarking on large scale projects or seeking specialized expertise, or require any consultation for your endeavors, CAS is your go-to solution. We work very closely with you, offering deep expertise and leveraging decades of experience to deliver optimal solutions that is being tailored to your enterprise needs. I head the research division of CAS, and at CAS Research, we operate with a lot of integrity and transparency, and that's the very core of our research. With a wealth of multiple years of experience, CAS Research has ingrained stringent policies and standards at its core. We have been creating research purely focused on technology, creates an environment where neither clients nor vendors can sway our research. Earlier part of this year, you might have seen our research that came out, which is related to Middle East Industry Insights 2024. And that's been well received by the community. And here we are now with a detailed breakdown of those industry-wide reports related to healthcare, oil and gas, retail, insurance, so on and so forth. So guided by our world's best practices, we maintain objectivity in ensuring clients cannot purchase research coverage or favorable opinions. Our dedication to independence empowers us to make bold calls, exercising full control over our research agenda, evaluations, and conclusions. I just wanted to let you all know that there's been a lot of meticulous planning and activities that went behind all our research just to ensure that the quality is not compromised. And we purely focus all the time on qualitative information rather than quantitative data, including proprietary insights to inform that we come up with the right kind of data points for you to take any decisions. The advantage of relying on with CAS research will be you will get a comprehensive insights into the latest tech trends customized to your business needs. We can arrange strategic consulting sessions. You will be a part of our event, when we do the research readouts. You will get the early market predictions and also access to our expert network. So with this, I would like to conclude and hand it over to our lead research analyst, Shoaib Chowdhury, who will take you through the deep dive of today's webinar, which will actually focus on one of the industry. And from here onwards, please do thoroughly enjoy the session and do share your feedback. We look forward to working with you very closely. Our deliverables are designed to empower your business with the knowledge and strategies that needed in this digital age. So looking forward to work closely with each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay, for the introduction, and welcome everyone. I'm Shoaib and I'm affiliated with CAS as the lead research analyst. Today I'm here to project our findings on the role of IT in the educational system and discuss and explore how digital transformation is reshaping the landscape in this region, also highlighting the key challenges, opportunities, and trends in the education system. Beginning with the research methodology, we started by defining scope and target population, which included educational institutions across the Middle East. A survey was meticulously structured and deployed, followed by rigorous data collection and analysis. This process ensures that our findings are both reliable and actionable. With the demographic overview, our survey included over 150 participants from various educational institutions in countries such as the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, and Qatar. Specifically speaking, 35% of the respondents were from Saudi Arabia, 30% from the United Arab Emirates, 9% from Oman, 11% from Kuwait, and 12% from Qatar, with the remaining 3% from other locations in the Middle Eastern region. These participants held diverse roles within the educational sector, including 14% IT directors, 40% chief technological officers, and 46% chief information officers, providing a well-rounded perspective of the integration of IT in education. Speaking of digital integration and digital learning platform, the digital learning platforms are becoming an integral part of education in the Middle East. The integration of these platforms can significantly enhance the learning experience by providing flexible, accessible, and engaging educational content. According to the CAS survey, 42.6% of respondents reported that the digital learning platforms are fully integrated into their curriculum and teaching process, allowing for a seamless blend of technology and education. Additionally, 36.4% indicated partial integration utilizing these platforms for specific subjects or courses. Meanwhile, with a limited integration of digital tools in the educational offerings, and a minority of 5.8% have implemented any digital learning platforms. Common digital learning tools include learning management systems adopted by 81.4% of institutions, video conferencing tools used by 76.2%, interactive whiteboards implemented by 47.7%, and educational apps or softwares employed by 73.1%. A small fraction, 5.4%, reported not implementing any digital learning tools. Remote learning and collaboration. The shift to remote learning and collaboration tools has been significant, especially in response to the recent global events. These tools have become essential for maintaining continuity in education. The CAS research data shows that 91.4% of respondents used video conferencing tools such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams. These tools enable live interaction between the students and teachers, replicating the classroom experience as closely as possible. Additionally, 76.3% utilize virtual classrooms, 77.2% adopt collaboration software like Google Workspace and Microsoft ACE365, and 87.5% have implemented remote access to learning materials, ensuring that the students can access their coursework from everywhere. Furthermore, 33.3% reported using specialized educational software and digital resources. However, challenges remain, with 20.1% identifying lack of access to technology or the internet as a major issue. 33.1% reporting problems with teacher and student preparedness. 24.8% facing technical difficulties with platforms and tools, and 14.2% encountering engagement and participation difficulties. Other challenges cited by 5.6% include data security, mental health impacts, and assessment difficulties. Data analytics and personalized training. Data analytics is playing an increasingly important role in personalizing education. By analyzing student data, educators can tailor learning experiences to meet individual needs and improve educational outcomes. The CAS research survey reveals that 32.1% of organizations report extensive use of data analytics for customizing learning experiences, allowing for a more customized approach to education. Additionally, 41.2% use data analytics for minor personalization efforts, while 24.9% are considering the adoption of data analytics. Only 1.8% have no plans to use data analytics for personalization. Privacy concerns is also crucial. Our findings show that 53.2% respondents strictly adhere to data privacy regulations, ensuring that the student data is protected. Additionally, 21.7% limit data collection for privacy reasons. 18.4% have basic privacy measures in place, and 6.7% lack specific measures for privacy. Cybersecurity and digital literacy. As education becomes more digital, the importance of cybersecurity and digital literacy cannot be overstated. Protecting sensitive information and ensuring that the students and educators are proficient in using digital tools are critical for a successful digital transformation. The CAS survey indicates that 52.1% of organizations have implemented robust cybersecurity measures and conduct regular audits to protect their systems and data. Meanwhile, 32.7% rely on basic security protocols, 13.3% have limited focus on cybersecurity, and only 1.9% do not have specific security measures in place. In terms of digital literacy proficiency among students and educators, 26.7% are highly proficient, 48.1% possess moderate proficiency, 21.9% have a basic level of understanding, and 3.3% lack proficiency. This highlights the need for continuous improvement in digital literacy education. Based on our findings, we have several recommendations to address the identified challenges and enhance the integration of IT in education. First, establishing dedicated technical support teams that are easily accessible to students and educators can help address technical issues swiftly. Additionally, developing comprehensive self-help resources like guides, frequently asked questions, FAQs, and tutorial videos can empower users to resolve minor issues on their own. Proactively addressing privacy concerns involves implementing comprehensive data protection measures, including encryption, access control, and regular security audits. Transparency about data practices is key to build trust. Embedding digital literacy across all subjects and grades levels ensures that it is not taught in isolation but as a component of the broader educational experience. Diversifying the digital tools used to cater to different learning styles and needs involves conducting regular needs assessments, incom- incorporating interactive tools like visual, like VR and simulation software, and using adaptive learning technologies to customize learning experiences. Future outlook: looking ahead, remote learning will continue to complement traditional classroom teaching, offering a blended approach that combines the best of both worlds. This model allows for personalized learning experiences, catering to diverse learning needs and preparing students for a future increasingly characterized by digital interaction. Continuous collaboration among educational institutions, government bodies, technology providers, and the broader community is essential to create an inclusive and innovative educational ecosystem. By working together, these stakeholders can address the challenges posed by remote learning and leverage its advantages to enrich the educational experience for all. Lastly, I would like to conclude by thanking the research team and express my gratitude towards the research team for their unconditional support during this research study. And that's it from my end. We'll further go on and continue with the panel discussion with our speakers on board. Thank you very much. So, moving on from the presentation to the panel discussion now, please join me in welcoming our two esteemed panel discussion members and speakers. The first speaker for today is Mr. Ozil Hormuzuli. He is the Senior Risk Management Analyst with Qatar University, and joining him is Joseph Aninias, the Director of Information Technology and Technology Services with Abu Dhabi University. So, beginning, thank you very much, both of you, for being on this panel discussion. Firstly, coming to Mr. Joseph, I'd like to ask what are some of the successful examples in the Middle Eastern educational sector that are incorporating technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, and gamification to enhance student engagement and learning outcomes?
Okay. Now, when you look at simulation tools like VR, AR, gamification, it has a direct impact on the student learning, primarily on seeing a simulated uh, class. For example, I give you on an aviation class. It minimizes the risks when you're training pilots. You put them on a simulator, right? And we have this here, and on aviation we have flight simulator series. You show them how the plane behaves or when they are on the plane, and then you train the students, give them that simulated experience when they're flying the plane, for example. So it removes the risks of them going to the plane or getting them released before on flight and not knowing what to experience, right? It's not similar to learning how to drive a car. The risk is much higher when you're driving a plane. augmented reality, virtual reality. For example, if you look at social sciences, subjects, when you try to do an open heart surgery or you want to study a human anatomy, that is something that you can actually very, very beneficial to the students. Engineering, if you're opening, a large machine, apart before coming into the mechanical lab, you can actually explore and learn more about how the gear works. Chemical, for example, composition, you can simulate and visualize um, how chemical works on those subjects that they teach. So the engagement is much higher when you have technology enabled between um, technical classes, for example, and understanding uh, the reality without having the risks of getting involved to the risks of that particular subject matter that they're teaching, for example. And that is a much more engaging experience rather than explaining the theories in class.
Now, coming to Mr. Ozil, I would like to ask, how is the Middle East leveraging IT solutions to address the challenges faced by education sector, such as access to quality education, personalized learning, and remote learning during crises like the COVID-19 pandemic?
Right. Well, see, in order to offer the quality education that you mentioned, personalized learning, and even remote learning, first you need to have a robust digital infrastructure. So, what the COVID 19 example that you gave has accelerated this transformation, and in some organizations, it has even become an integral part of their long term strategic plan. So a big, huge progress is made, at least in the MENA region, digital economy. And according to one research, the internet use has increased by 11% in the area during the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of the remote learning, the pandemic, of course, made it clear how resilient and successful e-learning is in the Middle East. It showed that students can continue their education online in an emergency situation, in crisis situation, and sure they so they don't lag behind academically. So this understanding has increased, of course, the regional demand for the e-learning solutions and e-learning platforms. Some institutions started offering now courses online, certification programs online, where previously they were done based on face-to-face. And moreover, actually, UNESCO has published a document on remote learning strategy for policymakers and educators. So, of course, the e-learning platforms is on the rise. And as for the using the for personalized learning, you mentioned, when we think about the personalized learning, immediately AI comes into mind. Applications of AI and personalized seems like it's a perfect answer for some, but we have to also consider that for personalized learning, the keyword is the personalizations, depends on student data, depends on user data, and whether those users, those students are willing to share their data. Because nowadays, students are more concerned and knowledgeable about data privacy, and they're also concerned about how the data may end up being used. So this is about personalized, what I can say about personalizations using digital technology.
Moving ahead, I'd like to ask Mr. Joseph that with the increasing demand for online education, what are the key considerations for Middle Eastern educational institutions in selecting and implementing e-learning platforms and tools to deliver effective virtual learning experiences?
Here in the Middle East, what I have seen is there's an expansion or an extended need for learning one of the points that was mentioned is personalization of service. This is very important for a student's success. You know, when you put him a, when you establish a learning management platform, what you consider technically on a traditional way is the flexibility, the scalability, the uptime that has to be always up, the interface. But what's the important component right now, what was mentioned earlier, is personalization of service. This means if I am studying business, all the subject matter, all the relevant materials on my learning management system should be related to my courses and contributing to my success. All the activities within the organization, within the university, for student engagement or industry engagement should be aligned to my personal interest. All the subject reviews, research materials available in the library, for example, must link with my personal interest or the course that I'm taking. And this is done through many different enablement. You can do AI enablement, you can do uh, predictive analysis on students success. For example, how am I doing with my class? Where do I actually fail? Which focus which time should I focus more to improve my development? Because as an educator, in an education institution, what we want to see is student success, right? All throughout their student journey, we want to guide them and make better of themselves when they graduate from their program. So personalization within the learning management platform is very important. And this is with nowadays, the interface between the technology and the user is important, meaning the interface, whether it's on a tablet, on a phone, it must be always available, accessible in a manner that's presentable to the user.
And moving ahead, I'd like to ask Mr. Ozel that what are the potential ethical and privacy concerns associated with the use of IP in education? For example, student data privacy, algorithmic bias, and digital literacy. And how can Middle East stakeholders address these issues while promoting innovation in the sector?
Well, ethical concerns always been there, even before AI, before the pandemic. But if now we are factoring in the digital technologies where we're using them as assistive tools, which being provided to us by our technology providers, for example. If we talk, for example, the ethical concerns from the point of educators, how are we using the data for the students? So if we are using those assistive tools, we have to be responsible. How are we using those data, and onto which platforms we are providing those data in order to do our analysis? Yes, it's great. These technologies are helping us in terms of optimizing our work and making it more efficient. But we have to be also considerate about how are we using those data, and whether it's being stored, how it's going to be utilized. So this is one thing. From the student point of view, of course, for example, when students are writing their papers, this can be simple assignments, this can be their theses, their dissertations. Before they publish it, they perhaps again use those tools, and when they publish it there, it is pretty much available to those platforms. So what's being done, what's recommended, and what I see is happening is guides. So these institutions, universities now are working on how to developing guides for how to integrate AI, responsible AI for education, for educators, and also for the students. So we cannot neglect the fact that AI tools or these technology platforms are being utilized both by students and educators, but at least now we are guiding them through. And of course, these are being done on the level of the institutions. Again, UNESCO is contributing on that. They are publishing great articles about the adoptions of AI. I've seen local governments also publishing guides on the adoptions of AI and technologies for the various sectors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. That was really insightful. And now, moving to Mr. Joseph, I'd like to ask, how can Middle Eastern education institutions and governments and also IT providers collaborate to bridge the digital divide and ensure equality access to technology-enabled education across urban and rural areas?
When you say digital divide, you mean the access to the technology from rural areas. Is that I
Correct.
just yeah, okay. Now, from what I have seen, and this could be a naive input, is in the Middle East, these are mostly government initiative to reach out to rural areas. But these urban and rural areas across where, at least where I'm at right now, is very minimal because Middle East is in a very advanced nation. GCC is very advanced nation. The government itself are taking care of their people very well in comparison to the other places that I have visited, right? But when you say equitable access to technology, enable digital divide, uh, some of the institution that I have seen have put in the student in front of this because the student engagement across the industry, for example, community engagement and all that, they reach out to a much more wider audience. Now, the technology that enable this to make them available, like for example, universities that conduct public lectures or use the media to share a similar experience that you are having on campus when you're listening to a lecturer to those areas that are hard to reach to experience a classroom experience. That's where you actually see YouTube, for example, YouTube Learn, right? It's the biggest MOOC platform right now is YouTube. All the knowledge and information that you want to learn about, generally speaking, without linking to a program or a course, but uh, from the learning perspective, YouTube is a good data source for learning. However, if you consider areas that don't have internet access, that's a different types of story, right? Because if you're not connected online, most likely you won't have access to the latest information around the globe, right? So, um, like what I said, I'm trying to get if the context is only on the Middle Eastern sector, I think getting through the seeing the universities publishing their materials online, their lectures online, like you'll get many of these on LinkedIn, for example. That's more of like the professional uh, platform rather than the public one compared to YouTube. Would give access to far a bit more remote areas, but they must have a medium to link to the online media if that's what we're looking for.
Since now we're talking about AI, what I can say in very brief, if institutions, any organizations want to adopt artificial intelligence, we should think about the value, the human well-being, whether it's contributing to the benefit of the human well-being, and whether we can implement it ethically and morally, because institutions, they also have moral obligations towards the community. So having a responsible AI ethically, regardless of the types of it, I don't want to mention any platforms, any names, but it needs to be done in an ethical way and to the benefits of the human well-being.
we have mentioned that the era now in education, there is an AI boom, like the trend that's going on into the world right now, not only in education. So AI is a very vast technology, very advanced, very trendy. But the question is your AI my AI? Is there one unified AI for all? Is ChatGPT the AI, the king of AI? You know, do we really understand the full capacity or the full power of AI? Do we really apply the right tools to enable AI in our operation and our business? Now, that is something we will yet to explore in the future. Do we have enough information about building our own AI? What is a private one that we used, and what is the business enabler AI?
Thank you very much, both of you, for being on this panel discussion. It was really insightful to listen you guys talk about the role of IT in the realms of education. So once again, thank you from the entire team of CAS Research for being available on this panel discussion. And on that note, I'd like to end this webinar over here. And this is Shoaib signing off from CAS Research. Thank you very much and take care.